it's Yume. Welcome to my channel. And if you know One Piece, you know that Luffy is stupid. But aside from that, today I want to talk to you about how I think Luffy has the highest emotional intelligence out of all characters I've known. And it doesn't take us 1000 chapters to be able to understand that. We see this in one of the very early arc of the manga of the anime, which is Arlong Park. And that's why I want to talk to you today, using Arlong Park as a case study to illustrate how Luffy is genius in EQ. And Arlong Park is an arc where we see Nami backstory, and her relationship with the village and her relationship with Arlong. And when the whole crew, particularly Zoro and Usopp, was panicking about Nami's motivation, is she evil? Is she betrayed them? Did she work with Arlong all along? But interestingly enough, we see how Luffy never has any doubt about her. And he instinctively knows that Nami has a deeper reasons for doing what she does. He knows how to read people. And we see how when Nojiko, Nami's sister, offered to tell them about her past, but he immediately refused. He decisively said, I don't want to know about that. And when I heard that, I was like, how many of us can say that so decisively about a friend? I don't care about your past because I know you now. So I thought that was a very strong thought. But I don't think Luffy does this out of blind faith. He knows that there is a reason on how Nami was acting this way and decides to trust her regardless. And an important point to make here is that he refused to listen because it's Nojiko who tells the story, because it's not really her place to say. But I imagine if Nami was the one who decides to tell them or tell him about her past, Luffy would listen, and he would listen well. So I think this says a lot about his character. And secondly, as an instinctive person who really thinks with his gut instincts, I think it's actually possible to trust someone without necessarily knowing the whole story. You are able to trust someone because you believe in their character. And that's what's going on here. Now, another thing that I want to highlight, during his fight with Arlong, while they were throwing insults at each other, Luffy shouted at Arlong, how can I know how to use a sword? When Arlong pointed out, are you going to use a sword? He said, how can I know how to use a sword? I don't know how to use a sword. And I thought this is such a strong declaration. And this is the essence of Luffy as a leader, as a captain. He might not be able to do all the jobs, but he knows how to gather people that can complete him. He can gather and best motivate these people that they're so loyal to him. And he able to gather this perfect team of individuals who come from so many different backgrounds with different paths, but somehow fit each other just right. And he empowers them and trusts them to do what they're good at. So he doesn't have to be the best navigator, he doesn't have to be a swordman, he doesn't have to be a cook. And he knows that. But he is a raider regardless, because all these people actually look up to him and follow his leadership, his charisma, and his vision. And I think that's really what the best leader is all about. And another thing that I really like in this arc, when Luffy was fighting Arlong and they arrived at the navigation room where Nami used to work. And in this place, Luffy knows exactly how to deliver Nami's personal vengeance. He destroyed the room, he completely mess up all the maps, and he tries to destroy the room where Arlong was freaking out. And I like this because it's one thing to just defeat Arlong and free the village. Yes, that is her goal, which is good. But to destroy that particular navigation room, the moment Luffy sees it, he knows that he needs to destroy it. And the destruction of that room brought closure to Nami. That's not just simply fulfilling goals, that brings closure. And Luffy is able to determine that and understands that this is the room where Nami probably dreamed countless times about destroying. This is where she spent most of her time in hatred, being forced to work with Arnold. And to digress a little, I love that Luffy's fighting style is to destroy buildings. And yes, one part is because he punches things and buildings get destroyed when they get punched. But I think it also symbolizes how he physically, literally destroys symbols of oppression. For example, in Enies Lobby, he destroys the whole island of Enies Lobby. And Enies Lobby is the symbol of Marine's oppression on humanity, on the people. And when he destroyed that, he literally destroyed the symbol of oppression. Poetic, you know? And so I really love that part during the fight in the navigation. And especially during this fight, Luffy shouted to Arlong,
巨人がどう偉いとか、海図がどうとか、事情とか、そんなことはよく知らねえけどな。やっとあいつを助ける方法がわかった。
And I thought that is so beautiful. Here we can see clearly where his priorities lie. The story of One Piece is about fighting injustice. But Luffy's goal is really much closer to home. He's not really a politician trying to find power using rhetorics, you know? He doesn't care about important things like maps, even though that would be extremely valuable as you are sailing in the sea. But what he cares about is helping his crew, is helping his nakama, in this case, Nami. And he instinctively knows that this is the most important thing. And as we see, in doing so, he earned something that cannot bought with money or with power. He earned the absolute loyalty of the most talented navigator in the world. And I think I just want to close this by what Mihawk said during the Marineford battle. He looked at Luffy and said, one by one, he turns people around him into allies. That man possesses the most terrifying power. Imagine that, like a warlord who is so powerful, but he looked at Luffy and recognizes Luffy's genius, emotional intelligence, and his ability to bring people together and understands each people and motivates them or brighten their world or give them hope. That's what makes him a terrifying character. And I just really love how the seemingly simple arc of like Arlong Park in the early days can describe Luffy's greatest strength perfectly. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this at all, please help me out by subscribing to my channel. See you later!